thank you all for being here. And I also like to thank all the amazing speakers we've had these 2 days, at least so far, because they have at least about half of them, they have talked about sustainability in the inkjet industry. Great. And since I'm going to talk about sustainability in the inkjet sector, I didn't want to come across like some kind of crazy green activist or something. So I'm glad that it's been talked a lot on sustainability. So we at People&Technology are really concerned of the environmental emergency, the context that we're living in. And we truly think that printhead cleaning is actually making a difference in sustainability. It's having such a great impact in sustainability and on the environment, and it's also having a great impact on those companies that already clean their printheads. So sustainability is making our society to evolve, and also industry and also business strategies. So I'd like to highlight 3 issues, three main aspects of sustainability as a global movement. First is the sorry, that was supposed to be here. Climate change is a global challenge. This was prepared well before everything that happened last week in Valencia, but this extreme weather phenomenon and this rising of the temperatures, this is something that is affecting us as individuals, as civilians, let's say, in our daily lives. But also the resource scarcity, this is causing industry to become more efficient and to adopt some of the sustainable practices in order to achieve long-term viability of the business. Last aspect will be the increasing consumer demand for environmental responsibility. And this is what is going to change the market approach strategies in the next years. So it's going to change the approach to the market with our products, because right now consumers are perceiving as better products that come from companies with strong sustainable policies and practices. And through this better perception of your products, a strong bond can be built with the customers. And this strong bond, these kind of feelings for the product, I don't know why it keeps on moving, can lead to long-term loyalty with your customers. And who's not looking for long-term loyalty in our customers? All this sustainability sex appeal is even stronger when we talk about younger generations, because they've grown up in a context where sustainability is a big issue. So that's why mostly late millennials and Gen Z are really attracted to sustainability practices and sustainability policies. So these are 3 key concerns younger generations have when approaching market and deciding what to buy, because these late millennials and Gen Z are already full digital generations. So they use the information they have in their phones, all information available in the internet, to make informed decisions when buying. So, you know, this keeps on moving. It's maybe my fault, I'm sorry. I'm sure you've heard about the 4R. Let's make a little bit of a quiz. Who knows? Please raise your hands. Who's heard about the 4R? Okay, hold your hands, because we have a 5R. What about 5R? Just 1? 6? Still? 7? 8? Okay, you bet. you won for sure. This is the kind of information you can find in the internet that is shaping the mind of the consumers when they are evaluating your product. So, well, it's amazing what you can find in the internet. One more. What about 9? Dang. My last one. As sure as the last one is the 10. Okay, I looked for 11. There's no 11, at least yet. So I'll look for it in a couple of months. They will come up with something for sure. I'll be back with 11 hours. There's a key concern about energy efficiency, and not energy efficiency when it comes to the product usage, but also when it comes to the manufacturing of the product. So this information they have in their hands and they use is used to evaluate your processes too. So that's something to keep in mind. And of course, in the same line of thought, they like long-lasting products because this reduces so much the carbon footprint for that product. So, well, let's throw some numbers in. Sorry for that. Let's throw some numbers in. These are facts. So 75% of Gen Zs think sustainable purchases are more important than brand names. So all those big companies investing in their reputation, their big name, they are forced to link that name to sustainable practices and demonstrate it, because Gen Z will ask for a demonstration of the sustainability issues they're having. And also, 73% of millennials are willing to pay a bit more for sustainable products because they understand that is not as cheap as mass producing. So this gives industry a bit of room to improve, to invest in making their processes better, making their processes more sustainable. So there's room for us to get along, invest a bit, be greener with our processes, and then attract those consumers. Well, this is the part maybe I like less of this presentation, but I have to do it. We'll go through this together. These are the generations. So we don't need to worry about this. This is Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha is not dangerous yet because we can just tell them to go to the room, so everything is fine. But Generation Z, they are in their mid-20s. And millennials, these lads, some of them are over the 40s. So there's a lot of purchasing power building up here. Decision making. They are rising in their companies. They are decision makers already. And they may be able to make some investment criteria on their companies. So we need to adapt to meet the expectations of these generations that are right now asking for sustainability. So they also act as influencers for the rest of society. So right now, all demographics, all society is asking for brands, companies, products to be more sustainable. That's what they expect from us. So yeah, we have society asking for sustainability. And do you think industry knows about this? Do you think they know about the market trends? Well, of course they know. And if we look at the main industrial printhead manufacturers, they have been getting ready for this for quite some time now. All this information is from their websites. So Ali from Seiko knows they've got their decarbonization program. Epson is going with EcoVision 2050. Toshiba, sustainable through efficiency. Konica Minolta came up with their own green certification system. Dirt is moving to water-based for textile. Fuji has a green policy, Eco-Technologies, RICO, circular economy leadership. Kyocera, life cycle assessment in depth. I'll ask you to retain this concept for later on. And Xar is going with reducing the waste of ink when using their printheads. So yeah, everybody is getting ready for this. So we have society worldwide asking for sustainability, industry worldwide getting ready for this. So what's with Europe? Let's look Europe in the face. In Europe, we have been dealing with these twin challenges of climate change and resource depletion. And about 5 years ago, our beloved Ursula came up with this new plan, which is the European Green Deal. It's what has been explained before, but this is a path for us all to decarbonize Europe by 2050. And this has some really, really ambitious goals. They are so ambitious that they tell themselves these are ambitious because we have a really strict agenda to meet 2030 and 2050 goals, like decarbonization, like zero pollution in Europe by 2050. This is going to bring some changes. Also energy, all energy supplies must be clean, affordable, and secure. What that means for us as individuals, as families, and what it means for industry. And they are planning on mobilizing industry for a clean and circular economy. So this will bring a whole bunch of changes that are going to pile up on top of the already existing directives, regulations, standards for sustainability in the inkjet sector. As much as you want me to explain one by one all of this, I'm not going to do it because there's a whole bunch of them related to, let's say, hazardous substances, electronic and electronical equipment disposal. There's a whole bunch of them. And complying with this is not that difficult. It is tough, but it's not difficult because they let that back door of paying fines and paying fees for our environmental impact that we have. But that is what younger generations came to call greenwashing. And they are not going to allow greenwashing from our side for your brands. So what I'm bringing is the life cycle assessment as a tool for you to be able to improve your sustainable policies and practices. And this is a method for evaluating the environmental impact that any product, process, or service will have through the entire life cycle, including the value chain and the supply chain. So this is not a new tool. It came out with the ISO 14000 families, that's 2006. And it comes to break down the life cycle into some phases, and is evaluating the environmental impact in each one of the phases. So in the material phase, we gather the raw materials and needed for a product, any given product. And these raw materials, we need invest some energy to gather them, and it will produce some emissions and some pollution. So it gets a score for that. Production phase, we will take all the gathered raw materials to our site, our factory, and we will create the product, and that will give us a score. And even if we try to add a finished product into our product, we will need to add the full scoring, the carbon footprint for the full product into ours. So that's how it will be adding up. The distribution phase, for sure, a huge carbon footprint. The use phase, we need to see the energy consumption of the actual product, and also maintenance and longevity. So how would this look like if we are assessing the life cycle, the environmental impact of a printhead? Okay, for printheads, we need to gather metals, plastics, ceramics for the piezo's, ink-resistant coating, and that will give us a carbon footprint for the printhead, for the raw materials. In the production phase, there's been a design phase and a prototyping that we need to slice and give each one of the products the proportional part to it. We will be manufacturing it. There's a quality control, there's packaging and storaging that will have an impact on the environment, and that's going to be assessed in the distribution phase. The distribution phase will, the printhead will be sent to either final user or a press manufacturer, and these press manufacturers, and is going to build maybe hundreds of printheads in their printer, they will appreciate that carbon footprint to be as low as possible. Use phase. In the use phase, there'll be an energy consumption, ink consumption and wasting related with the maintenance of the printhead, and there'll be a certain printhead longevity. And this is a key factor, printhead longevity, because that's going to dilute or intensify the carbon footprint for that printhead. End of life is the most interesting point of the life of a printhead. Do you know where all printheads you've been using all these years are? I don't think, I personally don't know any company in the world that could recycle a printhead or use parts of them for a new printhead. So I don't think this last part is of any use in this life cycle for a printhead. It should look more like kind of a one-way straight line. And if we cannot recycle printheads, do you know where are we, how are we disposing of them? Are we disposing of printheads in the right way? Maybe some, I heard some incinerating, some landfilling. That's having an amazing negative impact on the environment. So what we're proposing is, at the end of the use phase, sorry, this is kind of automated, I don't know why. At the end of the use phase, send printheads to clean. Give it a second life. Let's start all the cycle over, skipping these two parts, these two phases that are really intense in resources, are really demanding and are really polluting. So we can start over and give it a second life and prevent this part for a bit longer. So we have printheads being a more long-lasting product, a more robust product, a more reliable product, and that is giving customers a better deal. It is giving them a better product, and that builds trust in customers. So if we send the printheads to a service to be clean, we start over from here, but if the final user has the proper equipment to clean printheads themselves, we can just loop around here, skipping all these prior parts and ending just with one last wasting. So every loop we get, we cut in half the carbon footprint for that printhead. And that's going to be much appreciated by regulatories, by industry, and by society. So printhead cleaning. Printhead cleaning is definitely not greenwashing. This is true action towards sustainability. This is commitment towards sustainability. So if we extend the life of a printhead by cleaning, we're saving resources, saving energy, saving waste, well, delaying the waste, and it's so much cost efficient. So by printhead cleaning, we're having financial savings. These are the benefits. Financial saving, lower carbon footprint, and it's so easy to comply with European and other regulations abroad. But well, in Europe, we are leading the sustainable fight. So if we comply with European regulations, I think we're good. We'll be way good. So where are the challenges for the future? It's prioritizing maintenance, preventive maintenance, in which we have printhead cleaning for extending their lives, align with regulations, but truly align with them, comply with them, with actual action, and not greenwashing. And then improve metrics. This comes back from the Industry 4.0, but just by improving metrics, we can boost our sustainability scores that will attract the new generation's investment. Does that make sense? Well, thank you so much. You're doing a great job.
Makes sense. Fantastic, Edgar. Thank you very much.